Hello, everyone. You're listening to Scientific Healing with Dr. Anastasia Chopelas. When you enjoy this show, please show us some thumbs up or 5-star love. Listen in each week to a new energy healing episode. I know the power of vibrational healing by combining physics and ancient healing arts to develop my own system that has amplified results with thousands of my clients and healing students. When you are ready to be able to transform your life and the lives of others, go to scientifichealer.com/energize me to discover more about my program for helping healers and coaches thrive and grow their business. Connect with me at scientifichealer.com/appointment to have a conversation about this. So today, what we're going to talk about is the long-term effects of criticism. So there's different kinds of criticism, but what I'm talking about is that destructive criticism, the unrelenting criticism that's unbalanced by, compliments and positivity. So as a parent, for example, if you're raising children, you can criticize your children, but you can also compliment them and tell them when they're doing something right. And I'm watching my daughter do that with her son. And it's really amazing to see how they start to flourish. And this is something that I didn't get. And it wasn't that it was meant badly. It was just the Greek way. You can't compliment your kid because they might get an ego.
Yeah, my mom's not Greek, but she had the same thing. I can't give you a compliment because then you'll stop trying.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
So today, in conversation with me is my fabulous co-host, Gwen Lepard. Welcome to the show, Gwen.
Thank you so much, Anastasia. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, and I'm so excited to be talking about this topic because I think that we don't think about what happens to us energetically. People, the usual thing that happens when you get all this unrelenting criticism, and this is something that my mom used to say. So she had a lot of wisdom, and she would say, well, up until you're 18, you're a victim, and after 18, you're a volunteer. So what you volunteer for is you carry on the criticism on yourself, right?
Yeah, and I think that it's wisdom, but you can be under 18 and choose to shift that energy from victim to something more positive as well.
Right, something empowering.
Empowering, exactly.
Right, I think the idea back then was you criticize them so they'll do better.
That was exactly it. That's my mom's, and I'm sure yours as well. They had good intentions.
Yes, they did. As my dad always says, so my dad has his sayings too, that the road to hell was paved with good intentions.
One many times, yeah. But that's not what I intended. It doesn't matter what you intended. It's the result.
Yes, exactly. So anyway, what we do is we start diving down into the low energy emotions of shame and guilt. So shame is about as low as you could go. It's very contracting. So let's think about what happens to the energy field. So when you contract yourself as a depressed person, as a person feeling guilty or ashamed, even with anger is a higher energy. It's more outward than inward. But, sadness, grief, depression, these are all constricting. And so it sends your frequency down. But the other thing that it does is it shrinks that energy field that's around you. And that energy field is a really, really magic for all of us. Right. One of the things that I have, as part of my programs is to do an energy field clearing every morning and every evening if you need it. But, I clean up my energy field every morning, and it makes a really huge difference in the day because it allows you to release what you've accumulated over the day and then the night, because the nighttime there's a lot of accumulation. It's not just restorative, but there's also, things get attached at night.
Yeah, can you say more about that? Because I think most people think, well, I'm in bed, I'm asleep, I'm not interacting with people, so I should be safe, right? So saying more about that, I think would be really valuable for people.
Okay, awesome. Thank you, Gwen. So what happens at night is the people that you're close to will start attaching to you in their sleep. They'll have dreams about you, they'll start attaching, and they'll start feeling needy. So if you, like me, for instance, I am the matriarch of a big family, right? I'm the oldest female in my family. So people defer to me in a lot of ways. And so what happens is they'll think, oh, well, what's Anastasia thinking, or I need to talk to her, or I need to get her advice, or something like that. And then what happens is that when they have that thought, then they send that energy cord somewhere to my throat, to my head, to my solar plexus. And you wake up feeling like you've got this burden on your shoulders, even though your body has just rested. You wake up with all of this extra stuff. So the first thing that I do when I get up, aside from drinking 2 full glasses of water to replenish the brain, because the brain, right?
Yes, can we?
So aside from doing that, which helps keep the brain functioning and the body systems continually detoxing, is to start cutting cords. And the other thing that I do is I take a salt shower in the morning to help clean off all that excess energy.
Can you describe how you take your salt shower? Because people might not understand.
Yeah, so the salt shower, so salt is really amazing. It has one of the lowest frequencies of any of the materials that we know out there. And it absorbs poopy energy. It's very cleansing. So salt water, salt, this is table salt, sea salt. It is not Epsom salt. Epsom salt has magnesium in it, which we absorb, and it helps relax, right? It's a mineral that we need. But with this, I just put a little bit of salt, sea salt, in my hand. And when I go in the shower, I dribble it wet. And it's actually interesting. It takes the mixture, the dissolving of salt actually takes heat out of the water. So it'll feel a little cool to the touch. And then I just go like this and I pat it on my body everywhere. I make sure I get under the arms because we accumulate a lot of poopy energy under there, and just pat it all the way down and, hit as much as my shoulders and back and down the arms as possible, and then rinse it off. And the nice thing is that, of course, it doesn't clog the shower.
like mine, which I have Himalayan pink salt combined with coconut oil, and I have to regularly maintain my shower because that's my soap.
Yeah.
So I've got to figure out a different way to do that. But I like your idea about just using the salt.
Yeah.
That's actually really, really helpful.
And it really does, like, I come out of the shower feeling really good, like all of that excess energy that I accumulated over, during the night. Because the other thing that happens is between the hours of midnight and about 3 a.m. is that the veil between the physical world and the spiritual world gets thinner. And I don't know why it has to happen then, but it does. And it gets thinner, and then there's also communication between you and your, the family members that have passed. Like if you've dreamt about them and you wake up feeling happy, you'll have that connection going on. There'll be things that are happening, and if you are so prone to other spirits that come and glom on and take your energy away, the cleaning up in the morning is really, really essential. So that's the reason why things happen during the night when we're asleep.
Okay, that's really good to know.
Yeah, so there's lots of precautions to take, making sure your bedroom is clean of as much energy as possible. Making sure that it is actually physically clean of dust and energy. Make sure that the lights are all off. Like if you have TV, unplug it. If you have other electronic equipment, the only thing we have are 2 clocks in there. One, because my husband gets up at 4 a.m. to go to work, and the other one so I know what time it is, and it shines a really dim light onto the ceiling that shows the time, which I really like.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so, but other than that, there's nothing on in the bedroom, so having it as electronically calm as possible is really helpful. And if need be, you can get these sheets that are electronically grounded with an electrical grid that will protect you. So I'll put that in the links below, so you'll be able to take a look at them. And
so bed sheets.
It's a bed sheet, right?
Cool.
And you can sleep under the sheet or on top of the sheet, and it grounds your body. It really very helpful, right? So
yeah, just thinking about that grounded me.
Yeah, that way, I'm always for, even though we can do a lot of stuff energetically, I'm always for getting extra help from the outside. So you can just stop thinking about it and not have to act on every little thing. Because if you had to act on every little thing,
you're working too hard.
Working too hard. Like, you can eat bad food and counteract it, but why would you? Right? Why not eat better food? Right? And so, instead of having to re-energize all your food and clean off all the pesticides and, eat a lot of extra vitamins and supplements and all that, just eat good food.
It actually costs less.
It costs less and it does you a lot more good. So let's get back to the criticism.
Yes.
So anyway, we were talking about how it shrinks that energy field that we have around us. And so if you think about it, your energy field is actually protection. And the energy field, when I mentioned that I clean it up first thing in the morning, so out of every single pore on your body, there's like a line of energy that comes out. And with criticism and bad mood and they get tangled, and then they start opening up holes, and it allows outside energy to come in. And so the outside energy might be other people's thoughts, low energy thoughts. It might be somebody trying to cord to you to draw your energy off. It might be a spirit or an entity. That's a topic for another day, but rest assured they are there because they are like parasites. They want to draw your energy off. They don't have enough energy to manifest. We do. And so they're there to be parasites, and they're just doing it to survive too. My definition of evil is taking something that doesn't belong to you. And it sounds like not so evil, but it is, because it's not theirs, it's ours. Right? So, and you can freely give it if you want, but,
Again, why would you?
Yeah, you can, there's so much energy out there for the taking. We don't need to take other people's stuff. There's just so much out there.
And they don't need it from us, that we can say gently, there's another source.
Right. Or you can send it to them, right? A prayer is a way to send energy to somebody else without giving your own away.
Oh, that's beautiful. So a prayer is a way to send energy to someone without giving your own away, and you can do that without their permission, correct?
Yes, you can pray without their permission.
That's fabulous.
Right. And I always tell people I'm praying for you. I'm sending prayers, right? That's a way of sending energy to somebody else. And it's a present. It's not like I'm forcing it on you. It's a present. And they can say, oh, well, I accept it or I don't.
Right. And it doesn't mean that you're putting your religion on them or anything. It just means loving energy.
Right. You're just sending them some healing and for their highest and best good. Right. So now we've got this shrunken field due to criticism. So wealth and health are both basically dictated by that field around you. And to keep it intact and as large as possible, grow it as large as possible, will allow you to be able to manifest everything you want. Good relationships, wealth, good health. That's everything in life, as far as I'm concerned, are those three things, right? And so the criticism will shrink it. It'll just keep shrinking it. So now you imagine you've gone through life and you're feeling very criticized. And so then you're continuing the conversation in your own mind, right? It's going on in your own mind. I'm good for nothing. I can't make it happen. I'm overweight. I can't get rid of that extra weight. I don't make enough money to pay my bills. I'm in a lot of debt. I can't make it happen for me. And so there's all this stream of negative consciousness happening.
Yeah,
And
the inner bully on steroids.
Yeah, inner bully on steroids. That's the perfect description. So what if instead we focused on releasing that? So a good way to release those thoughts is you start practicing. So the first thing to do is every time a thought like that pops in your head is you just cut it off. 1, 2, 3, let it go in the dirt, right? Or down your grounding cord. And so that's the first step. And the next step is to practice keeping your energy field nice and big and open, right? And a good way to do that, aside, the first thing to do is send a grounding cord down from the base of your spine into the earth, make it nice and wide, sit it on release, and just let the excess energy fall down. Excess energy is everything that is low energy, like that shame and that guilt. And really what we want to do is move up the ladder, right, of those emotions, because we go shame and guilt, sorrow, depression, anger, and then we start moving up towards courage, which is the turning point, right? So we're moving up the ladder of energy frequencies of emotions. And at some point you might even feel angry. I got all that criticism and that happened to me. And I went in, I was so angry about it. I went into my garden and I started pulling all the weeds out. And the weeds were symbolic of all those negative thoughts and criticism. And one of the thoughts I had is I was sent out into the world without a system of self-protection or defense.
And so many people are. They have no idea.
Right? So going into the world without that defense mechanism. So when I was little, I was punished and criticized for getting angry. And it is so important to get angry. It is so important. That is the first indication that somebody is crossing your boundary and violating you. And violation is somebody courting to you without permission, right? It's somebody criticizing you without permission. It is somebody reaching into your pocket and taking what's yours without your permission. And yet we do this all the time. We'll sit tacitly and not complain when all these horrible things are happening to you, right? Oh, the government just billed me, blah, 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 blah. Oh, the tax just went up, blah, 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 blah. Oh, that company just billed me another $300 for something without saying, hey, wait a minute, that's not right. So you'll get these constant boundary violations. Thieves will come in your home and take stuff out. You'll get into car accidents. It's kind of like you're inviting this kind of thing in. And by protecting your field around you, like sealing it up every day, and in the little meditations that I have at scientifichealer.com/wakeupbrain, and those little meditations I have, right, they help you keep that energy field intact to stop the thievery, right? I had a friend from high school who lost, she owned several properties, and when she got divorced, her former father-in-law basically stole them out from under her. Then she had $300,000 that was supposed to be her future, and she buried it in her yard, and her son found it. And her son and his former fiance, they never got married, spent a lot of it. Then she had all this beautiful stuff in storage, like worth a lot of money. It got stolen, including a lot of their family heirlooms. And, one thing happened after another. There was a thunderstorm, and she was a photographer, and she had all of her equipment plugged in, and the thunderstorm came and did a energy surge and blew everything out. Computers, cameras, everything, phone, the whole works. Like, who has luck like that? Right. And when you talk to her, she was busy trying to help other people, but she was the one that needed the help. And then she was sitting at a stoplight and got rear-ended, and her car was totaled. Right. And that was all she had left. It was the only way she had to get around. And it was like everything got wiped out because her energy field just kept getting smaller and smaller and smaller until there was nothing left. And her health also started going downhill. So, this is the thing that happens. And so by protecting your energy field and growing it bigger and bigger and bigger, and you can grow it. So now if we're sitting here grounded, releasing, and taking some nice deep breaths down into your belly, just imagine your field growing. Like, as you exhale, it shrinks a little bit. As you inhale, you grow it out a little more. As you exhale, it shrinks a little bit. As you inhale, you grow it out a little bit. And the bigger it is, the more energy it can contain. So energy brings you health, wealth, and relationships, right? Isn't that awesome?
That's so awesome. So can you get your energy field too big?
No.
Awesome. So when your energy field is bigger, it's interacting with other people. What can you speak a little bit about that?
Well, you can grow it, big as the city, big as the state, big as the country, big as the earth. You can grow it really big. And the whole intention is to connect with other high energy. And then, of course, when you relax completely, it'll end up about the distance of your arm span, right? That's normal.
Okay. That's normal. Okay.
Right. So you can walk around with it the distance of your arm span. And if you think about it, in this country, when we're talking to somebody we don't know, we keep them out about 6 feet, 5 to 6 feet. That's the comfortable distance. That's when the energy fields are just touching and not interacting. And it makes us very uncomfortable to go to Arab countries where it's more like 3 feet, and they get up really close to you and they'll talk to you like this, and we're backing off going like that. And one of my former students, when I was a university teacher, was an Arab, and he would get really close to me, and then I would back off. And he criticized me saying, "I think she likes women better than men." No, I just don't want you encroaching on my energy field. And it's all subconscious. We do it. That's our culture. Right. And so the other thing is that you can bring it in to, bring it into 18 inches when you go in a crowd.
Yeah, thank you for mentioning that, because I was curious about that. So you can bring it in to protect yourself without it diminishing the effects of it being out, or do you need to make sure that you put it back out?
You're not diminishing the effects. What you are is you're making sure that when you're going through a crowd, you're not interacting with a lot of people and picking up a lot of other people's poopy energy. Then when you come back home, you clean it back up again, cut cords, and let it relax, right? And it's still intact. And if I tell you, pull yourself into 18 inches, you might feel a tingling on your arms because your arms are really sensitive, and you're bringing that energy field to a density that's 1/8. The field size is 1/8, because when you shrink everything down to half, it's 1/2 times 1/2 times 1/2, and that ends up in 3D 1/8 its size. So you have 8 times the energy density on your hands. And then when you're
that's
relaxed,
fascinating.
right? When you relax, you open back up. And that's how you should practice, is being open when you're at home and in a safe environment. And one of the really important things is to expand upward, because you're connecting to spirit. And when you connect to spirit, that's when a lot of good things happen, when you get the information you need to know what to do next and to move forward.
Yeah, so we're actually spheres, 360 degrees, and I think so many people just see their front or the back, and they're not aware that it's 360, and that's up and below.
Right, and then the top of our fields actually look like raindrops. The top of our fields just keep going up like this, then connecting to the crown.
Okay.
Right.
Cool.
Right. So, there are a lot of images of what your field looks like. And from when I've seen it, it doesn't look like that. To me, it looks like a big drop. You're shaped like this, and then there's a line up.
I can feel energy coming down through my crown just as you're talking right now.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
Right. So the higher you imagine your field going, the more energy you can run through your body. It comes in through your crown and all down your channels, and let them wash up your channels and down your channels, and then up your legs and down your grounding cord. It will open up everything. So it opens up all the meridians and gets things flowing, blasts through all the blocks, the old memories of criticism, especially, that are keeping you stuck.
Yeah.
Right. So, this is not meant to be a talk about psychology. It's just meant to be what happens to your energy and some of the things that you can do to counteract the effects of criticism. Like, you can try to talk yourself out of it, but it's way faster to just, every time you have the thought, let it go. Every time you say, I should be doing this. Oh, no. Cancel, let it go.
Stop shooting on yourself. No more shooting.
Exactly. So that's all I have to offer. Do you have any other comments, Gwen?
I think that you covered everything that you covered everything that I had questions about. So I just want to know, how can people get in touch with you, and what's the next step for them?
Well, the next step, of course, is to have a conversation with me to see if either a group program, learning how to heal, or whether just getting some one-on-one healing time with me will help them. I am not a person to, I'm not somebody who's going, oh, I have to get these people because I, absolutely need the money, blah, blah, blah. It's like that. I can't, I've never, even when I had no money, I still didn't do that. It's just like not my energy. But I'm happy to help. I'm here to help. I've had many conversations where nothing came of it except that they went and got help elsewhere. And so the way to make an appointment with me is at scientifichealer.com/appointment, or to go to scientifichealer.com/contact and write me a note. And I will answer the note, because they come directly into my phone, so I can see that I've gotten a note there. And right, technology is awesome. I love all my phone apps and my iPad apps. I can get a lot done without needing to lug around a computer, right?
Right.
Yes. So that's the way. And as an aside, there's 2 things that are coming up in the works. One of them is a program on healing all aspects very deeply on relationships, because relationships are your number 1 factor for health, wealth, and happiness. Yes. And the other is the program that you're in, Gwen, is 2-year certification program. So 1 year will get you everything that you need to know, and then the second year is more in depth. And you not only do you learn how to heal, but you also get healed. So It's a dual program. It's very affordable, is what people tells me. So
Awesome.
awesome. So thank you so much, Gwen, for being here and
you.
helping out. So thank you for listening to Scientific Healing, and please give us some 5-star or thumbs up love. Share it with your friends, and be sure to subscribe to my channel. So I invite you in a conversation right now. I've reserved time for you on my calendar at scientifichealer.com/appointment. This is Dr. Anastasia Chopelas. Until next time.